Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide this evening. I'm Elizabeth Omori and we are starting a little behind schedule due to the live coverage of Senator Ibikunle's 68th birthday. Now the news. The federal government has introduced a framework aimed at resolving the prolonged industrial dispute between the joint health sector unions, JOHESU, assuring health workers that the long-awaited review of the consolidated health salary structure, CONHES, is still under active consideration. The government's response follows a joint statement by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, which accused the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare of deliberately failing to implement the 2021 report of the Technical Committee on CONHES adjustment. The ministry notes that several conciliatory meetings have been held with JOHESU since the strike began. Both are the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, as well as the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, despite the union's decision to seek intervention from the National Industrial Court of Nigeria. Addressing the no work, no pay policy, the ministry says, should JOHESU suspend the strike in good faith, the matter will be handled administratively. It also expresses readiness to continue engaging the NLC and TUC in subsequent negotiations. The federal government also emphasizes its commitment to achieving a fair and lasting resolution through dialogue, mutual respect and equity across all professional cadres in the health sector. Now to aviation. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has formally signed the concession agreement for Akano Ibian International Airport, Enugu, marking a significant milestone in federal government's efforts to modernize Nigeria's aviation infrastructure through public-private partnerships. The signing ceremony held at the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Abuja, brought together key stakeholders, including representatives of the Enugu State Government, Aero Alliance, and top officials from the Federal Ministry of Aviation and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN. The minister described the event as culmination of a transparent and painstaking process that began years ago and received Federal Executive Council's approval on the 31st of July 2025. He emphasized that workers' rights and job security were prioritized throughout the negotiations, with no retrenchments or changes to employment terms. The concession of Akano Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, aligns with the federal government's aviation sector reform agenda aimed at attracting private investments, improving infrastructure, enhancing regional connectivity, and strengthening Nigeria's aviation competitiveness. Now, the Jigawa state government has taken another major step towards becoming an international investment destination as Governor Umar Namadi received a delegation of agriculture and livestock development investors from Wuhan, Hubei province of the People's Republic of China for a strategic public-private partnership. Mohamed Musa Skira brings us details.
Governor Umar Namadi received the delegation at the Government House, Dutse, following earlier engagements at the African-China Business Roundtable held in Wuhan, Hubei province in November last year. The investors, led by a co-investor Mubarak Tijani, disclosed that their consortium has an investment capacity valued at over $1 billion United States dollars, with an initial commitment of $20 million to be invested in livestock development and poultry farming in Jigawa state.
In terms of production, we are number one in wheat production in Nigeria. We are number one in sesame. We are number one in hibiscus.
Jigawa state has immense potential for the alfalfa grazing, which is the most important and most nutritious livestock animal feeding plant or grass we have today in the world. So based on that, we are bringing in this money to further advance and innovate into this alfalfa farming.
Experts say the visit marks another milestone in Jigawa State's drive to diversify its economy. In Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NT News.
Meanwhile, the Foundation for Sustainable Smallholder Solutions has started a national project which aims to improve choices and increase farm output by using trustworthy performance data. Musa Babali reports that the project called Using Performance Data to Promote Better Seed Varieties will run for 36 months.
Data and traceability are seen as a simple way to spot quality seeds and find fake or low-quality farming inputs. In Nigeria, farmers plant seeds each year. They often choose based on rumors, habits, or what is available. They don't always pick the best seeds for their soil, weather, or market needs. The new Proof Safe program will create a reliable location based on performance data for main crops like rice, maize, and cowpea.
This project is for us to assess the different varieties of rice across different agroecology and position the best performing variety so our farmers can have the right variety that can help to improve their productivity.
So this project, as it is now, if it is well implemented, it will give the farmer the information as to the varietal crop or varietal seed that he needs to use.
The National Agricultural Seeds Council is working with key partners to make sure fake and low-quality seeds do not enter the Nigerian market. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
To infrastructure development, the federal government says boosting economic growth through improved road infrastructure will ensure that states like Kano benefit adequately from ongoing emergency interventions. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, made this known during the inspection and inauguration of approved federal emergency road projects nationwide, including 48 projects in the Northwest Zone.
The inauguration of road projects at the economic city in Bichi local government area and Magajurumfa Road in Nasarawa GRA. It also included the inspection of the Kano Northern Bypass, a 37.8 kilometer dualized road with 10 bridges, as well as the inspection of outstanding works on Section A and 3 of the Abuja Kaduna Kano Road. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, said the projects are designed to stimulate economic activities.
This road will bring all the people from Northeast. They will go have direct access without going through Kano. They will go straight if they're going to Northwestern State.
The team also inspected repair works on washed out culverts. The team acknowledged that all ongoing projects are being closely supervised by qualified professionals from the Federal Ministry of Works, reaffirming the ministry's commitment to quality assurance and adherence to specifications. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, let's join Charles in Markudi.
Welcome to Makudi. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Telemu, has urged Benue people to reciprocate the goodness and favor President Bola Ahmed Tinubu towards Benue State. He stated this when he carried out his All Progressives Congress APC e-registration exercise at his council ward Mbakura in Bagen, Buruku local government area of the state. Here are the details. It was a large gathering of APC faithful and members of the Mbagen community, comprising the elders, men, women, and youth groups, ready for their illustrious son and Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Telemu, to be enlisted in the e-registration exercise. The APC chairman of the local government area, Mka Pepe, and other notable politicians from the axis who spoke at the event thanked Mr. President for the appointment of Senator George Akume as Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Professor Telemu as Minister in his cabinet, adding that by this singular act and the dividends of democracy his administration has plowed into the state, there is no going back from supporting him in 2027. Professor Joseph Usev, who participated in the APC e-registration at his country home, Mbakura Council Ward of Mbagen, Buruku local government area, went through the processes required for the exercise. He urged the people not only to replicate their 2023 polls that resulted in the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but to redouble their efforts in 2027 for an overwhelming victory.
So I'm calling on all great Nigerians, calling on all Benue sons and daughters, our elders, our mothers, to come out in mass and register as men and women of our great party, the All Progressive Congress in Nigeria. That is why we are here, and that is why I have just done. It's a replica and an example to our people for them to do. Our leader and our father, His Excellency Senator George Akume, have sent and have directed that every Benue son and daughter who mean well for our president has to come out.
Charles Abba, NTA News. And as a gesture of hope and renewal for Yelwata in Goma local government area, the Benue state government has flagged off a multi-billion naira resettlement project. Deputy Governor Sam Ode says the project is aimed at providing shelter, livelihood and dignity to displaced persons. Simbiat Agbaji tells us more.
A generous outpouring of support from Nigeria's First Lady's Renewed Hope initiative of 1 billion naira and other spirited individuals totaling 1.275 billion naira have opened up a new chapter in the history of Guma local government area, paving the way for displaced residents to reclaim their lost hope and aspirations. For the residents of Yelwata in Guma local government area, this marks a turning point, echoing the sentiments of many who have endured hardship.
Coming today, I'm sure I believe that everything will settle down. And I pray that for his effort, I know he will do better.
Governor Hyacinth, earlier represented by his deputy Sam Ode, flagged off the resettlement project, emphasizing its importance and the project's potential to transform lives and livelihoods.
The initiative goes beyond providing shelter. It represents safety, stability, and restoration of a sense of belonging.
Chairman Guma Local Government Council, Maurice Owo, urged citizens to take ownership of the project, while contractor David Anifowoshe assured of timely completion of the 62 housing units and road infrastructure.
As we prepare for the resettlement, they will need to be moving from here to their farms, and the security is not really guaranteed in some of the areas.
We are committed to working collaboratively with the government and all partners to overcome obstacles.
The deputy governor also laid the foundation for a clinic donated by development partners and a symbolic presentation of special protection funds of 50,000 naira each for livelihood support for some IDPs. From Yelwata in Guma local government area, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
That report rounds off our contribution from Makudi. Nationwide continues with Obehi in our Benin Network Center just after the break.
To Benin. The long land disputes between the former governor, Godwin Obaseki's led administration, and the 1,550 persons whose structures were demolished at Okeoroma community in Benin has been put to rest as the Edo state government has commenced issuing of allocated letters to eligible property owners to return the 2,950 plots of land. Commissioner for Land and Housing, Yakubu Musa, while speaking to journalists in Benin, said the gesture is in line with the campaign promises of Senator Monday Ukpevelo.
The immediate past administration in Edo State on September 21, 2022 demolished close to 90 houses in the locality, explaining that the action was taken to reclaim 1,229 hectares of land earmarked for the development of a new town project in Benin, maintaining that the state government acquired the land in 2017 and had at different times warned those who encroach on the land to stop development activities. This action, many say, led to the death of some persons and crumbling of investments. There is change in the narratives, as Governor Paulo's promise to recover the land to the rightful owners is being fulfilled. The victims assembled at the premises of the Ministry of Land and Housing with relevant documents for verification before issuing allocation letters to eligible property owners, marking the commencement of reclaiming back their land.
We have about 1,550 beneficiaries we are giving letters to cover about 2,950 plots of land. We have to give kudos to the governor that is showing that governance has a human face.
For most of the victims, the gesture is a restoration of lost hope after years of uncertainty.
At the beginning, I was thinking it was a political, promise. But now, it has come to reality. As you can see, I'm holding my letter of allocation.
The governors at that time arrested peaceful protesters, persecuted them. They stayed in the prison for 6 weeks.
Really appreciate it. Really happy we got the land back.
First and foremost, I want to thank God Almighty, and secondly, thank the able governor. I think he's a promise keeper.
Surveyors had begun the physical demarcation of the plots, while clearing work is ongoing to ensure speedy handover. In Benin, good luck in our NT News.
And now to security matters. Security agencies in Ondo State have pledged to strengthen border surveillance as part of intensified efforts to prevent attack, secure vulnerable locations, and curb illegal migration. This was disclosed while speaking on security and architecture of the state and measures put in place to enhance border monitoring and improve safety across Ondo State. Tony Battery tells us more.
Researches and records from past incidents indicate that Ondo State has faced security challenges, including armed robbery, farmer-elder conflicts, and court-related activities. A major concern among these is border-related insecurity, particularly kidnapping, which frequently occurs along highways.
I know the security are trying is far more better than the way it was before, but now, especially this Akure, they need to mount some roadblocks, some checkpoints.
The world is advancing, so we need more CCTV.
Security agencies in the state say intensified joint operations have begun to yield results, leading to a relatively calm security atmosphere. They reaffirmed their commitment to sustaining the momentum through the deployment of new technologies and strengthening of joint task forces along the borders.
We are prepared. We will continue to protect our boundaries with other states so that there will not be any form of incursion.
We're not going to rest on ours to ensure that this year we do better than we did last year, just to ensure that the people of Ondo States are able to sleep with their eyes closed.
They noted that improved interagency coordination and enhanced surveillance remain central to efforts aimed at safeguarding lives and property across the state. In Akure, Tony Batire, NT News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Obey. The Renewed Hope agenda, the Tinubu government pro-people mantra, has inaugurated its Jigawa state structure. It is the first in the country to strengthen sensitization of citizens in Jigawa state on the achievements of the president under his Renewed Hope agenda and further mobilize citizens to support the president. Mohammed Musa Skera reports that the program rounded off with distribution of palliative to religious and community leaders as seasonal token.
Musa Shuaibu Guri has emerged as the Jigawa State Coordinator of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors and National Support Group backing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. The development took place at a stakeholders meeting held at the Manpower Development Institute in Dutse, which attracted a large turnout of youths from across the state. The Jigawa Renewed Hope Ambassadors, under the national leadership of its Director General, the Imo State Governor, Hope also demised the funds to be formally inaugurated at the state level in Nigeria.
One of the cardinal achievements is increase in the federal, state and local government revenues and allocation for developmental projects.
This Renewed Hope, they will go down to the grassroots
they will follow Nigerians house to house to tell them the achievement of His Excellency the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and also the Governor of Jigawa State.
The engagement rounded up with the distribution of food palliative to religious and community leaders as a token from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to appreciate their unwavering support to his government. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
In other news, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund now denies media reports alleging that beneficiaries of the loan scheme have been directed to commencement. A statement by the Director of Strategic Communications indicates that the reports are false and misleading. The clarification follows an official statement by the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Benin, which disowns a purported circular currently in circulation outlining repayment procedures for NELFund loans. NELFund says their university confirmed that the document did not originate from the institution and that no repayment guideline has been issued by NELFund or the federal government. NELFund clarifies that no repayment is required while a beneficiary remains unemployed after graduation, and loan repayment only commences in line with the provisions of the law after gainful employment, as applicable students, parents, institutions and the public are urged to disregard the fake circular and other related publications. Next stop is Sokoto, where Sadia is standing by with some reports.
In its sustained drive to reposition girl-child education and amplify the voices of adolescent girls, the Sokoto State Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Project Media Engagement Campaign has reached over 17 million listeners. This came to the fore at the biannual Media Roundtable with journalists, where stakeholders reviewed progress, challenges and strategic roles of the media in reshaping public perception around girls' education. Elatu Abdullahi reports.
So far, the Agile project in Sokoto State has renovated 240 secondary schools and constructed 56 new ones, all equipped with gender-responsive facilities, including toilets and water systems, to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for adolescent girls. The initiative focuses on addressing systemic, social and infrastructural barriers that limit girls' access to and participation in secondary education. Recognized as a critical stakeholder in development, the media plays a vital role in shaping public perception, influencing behavior, and promoting evidence-based decision-making through informed and responsible reporting. Through strategic communication and social norms interventions, the project has helped get rid of long-held perceptions that discourage girl-child education. Sustained sensitization and advocacy engagement with community and religious leaders have enabled the project to reach over 17 million listeners, significantly driving positive attitudinal change toward girls' education.
The Media Roundtable will serve as an avenue to send messages for the sensitization and enlightenment on all about the overview of Agile project. So without inviting the media, we could not achieve that.
Stakeholders highlighted the impact of climate change and nutrition on girl-child education, advocating a holistic and integrated approach to addressing environmental challenges, school attendance, and learning outcomes. Overall, the Agile project aims to reduce barriers preventing adolescent girls from accessing, retaining, and completing secondary education across implementing states of the Federation. In Sokoto, Alhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force is strategizing to close identified gaps previously exploited by criminal elements as lessons from ongoing operations are being translated into improved doctrine, intelligence sharing, and synchronized air and ground responses to restore peace in the Northwest. The commandant of the Air Warfare and Doctrine Center, Air Vice Marshal Garba Ibrahim Jibia, made the assurance while addressing troops of Joint Operation Fansanyama's Sector 2 Annex of the 119 Composite Group, Nigerian Air Force, Sokoto.
Among the Air Warfare and Doctrine Center's key functions include doctrine development, specialized training, and joint operations integration, operational support, support and capacity building. The visit by the center is to brief personnel on the mandate and assess integration issues with air-to-ground operations, which are crucial aspects of the Nigerian Air Force mission that airmen and women are expected to deliver.
We have been tasked with the responsibility of facilitating effective air-ground integration across all joint operations areas. Think out of the box to see how we can ensure this solid and seamless integration of forces in all the joint operations.
This your visit will be very impactful as the interaction with our troops would assist us in appreciating the existing gaps and constraints in air-ground integration with a view to addressing them and ensuring seamless deployment of joint air-to-ground integration sites.
A detailed rundown was presented to the commandant on the achievements recorded and the challenges the 119 Composite Group is facing, giving him a clear picture of the operational landscape with a view to boosting its operational capabilities. While in Sokoto, the commandant, Air Warfare and Doctrine Center, Air Vice Marshal Garba Ibrahim Jibia, interacted with heads of security agencies in the state to enhance working synergy in the fight against insecurity in the Northwest. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. Awal is up next on Nationwide right after this break. Do stay.
Lagos Network Center. We begin on a rather sad note as another fire outbreak has occurred in Lagos at Amu or Dolphin Industrial Estate in Mile 2, Orile. Diana Ajale, who visited the scene of the incident, reports that warehouses belonging to several companies essentially storing petroleum chemical products worth billions of naira were destroyed by the inferno.
The fire outbreak, which started at Arkem Nigeria Limited, a recycling plant facility within the estate, sent thick smoke and flames across the industrial hub, spreading and disrupting business activities. Left with only rubble and debris, residents and victims declined comments about the incident. However, Assistant Director, Search and Rescue, National Emergency Management Agency, Lagos Operations Office, Ibitayo Adeleke, said the cause of the fire outbreak is yet to be ascertained, though the fire has been successfully put out to avoid spreading to other facilities.
We've been working together, but the cause of the fire is yet unknown. But as you can see, operation is still ongoing, but they've been able to contain the fire to ensure that the fire doesn't spread to the surrounding buildings. So they've cordoned off the whole place.
The fire has been curtailed with the help of a joint emergency responders, and there's no case of casualty at the time of filing this report. Authorities say further updates would be provided after investigation is concluded. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And away from that, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sunday Aneke, has reiterated the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force to enhancing the welfare and well-being of its retired personnel nationwide. The Air Chief, who was represented at an interactive session with enough veterans in Lagos, described them as the backbone of the service, whose sacrifices laid the foundation for the strength and professionalism of the Nigerian Air Force. Ime Udori's report is here presented.
This annual forum is designed to interface with retired airmen and women, find ways of supporting them and improving their well-being after active service to their fatherland. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sunday Aneke, represented, noted that the welfare of its retired personnel remains a priority and will continue to provide them with access to quality healthcare, economic integration, and sustained engagement to address their demands.
That it's not as if once they leave, they are forgotten. I may tell you now, there is a plan at the Ministry of Defense right now. So the federal government is looking at using the veterans who have been trained in security duties to take over that gap. And we're going to see a very positive result very soon.
There were lectures on post-service contributions to the Nigerian Air Force, life after retirement, opportunities and challenges, as well as strategies by NAF for retirees.
It takes time to transit into civil life. So basically my lecture was telling the people who have retired not to lose hope. That is a period of transition, and we have gained so many skills in the military that can make you live a useful life after military service.
For the veterans, this initiative is a welcome idea that will add value to the service.
The way you measure your achievement, how do you go about it, what you are doing, those are the things I'm going on with.
Very overwhelmed. Seeing my old colleague, my seniors, my juniors, I'm very happy.
The annual interactive session is aimed at promoting dignity and security in retirement, while also strengthening the morale and legacy of the Nigerian Air Force.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja. Elizabeth, you're on.
So much, Awal. And for clarity, the Chief of the Air Staff is Air Marshal Sunday Aneke. Thank you so much. Now, moving on, the strongest armor of a nation is not forged in steel, but in the remarkable bond between its soldiers. In their brotherhood lies a unity, in their shared purpose, our nation's integrity. These were the words of the former Chief of Defense Staff, Admiral Ola Saad Ibrahim, to members of the 42 regular course reunion and gala nights in Abuja. Olajide Bello reports.
The Nigerian Army Conference Center and Suits, Asokoro, was the anchor for the convergence of the 42 regular course reunion and gala night. A night of glitz and glamour filled with lots of jojo, hugs and loads of catching up to do, all in one night. Shoulder to shoulder they stand, not as regions or races, but as one sentinel.
For those of you who are big round, GOCs and whatever, please connect with the ones who are not GOCs. FOCs amongst you, please connect the one with the ones who are not FOCs. Not one person can do it alone. Apart from NDL uniting all of us, we have no other country but Nigeria.
National integration is secured on the frontier where individual differences dissolve into a unified purpose. The military covenant, a brotherhood sworn to something greater than self, is the living blueprint for a nation united.
We must leverage our collective experience and influence to mentor younger officers, support one another, and contribute meaningfully to national development. Let this reunion not merely stir nostalgia, but ignite a renewed sense of purpose and responsibility.
A minute's silence was observed for their colleagues who paid the supreme price and their widows compensated. Though from different ethnic and religious divides in the armed forces, all that reflected was a big and united family. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And that's the news. Thank you so much for your time. Good evening.